Every year in the NBA season, we see guys break out and have career years. Last year, we saw people like Brandon Ingram, Bam Adebayo, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and more, all have breakout seasons. And today, I decided to theorize 5 players who I think will break out this year. So with that being said, before we do get started, please make sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed, as it does really help out the channel. Subscribe if you guys are new, as I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers and it would mean a lot to me if we could reach that goal. I'll react to my very first 2 videos I ever made once we hit 1K. So if you guys want to see that and enjoy the videos on here, and you guys are a fan of the NFL or the NBA, please make sure to subscribe. There are videos like this already on the channel, and there will be more in the future. But with all that being said, let's just get this video started. And a quick disclaimer, I won't be using a lot of stats from this year. But moving on to the actual list, the first player I have is Darius Garland. Now, Darius Garland did not have a great rookie season, as he averaged 12 points per game and 4 assists per game on not too good efficiency. However, I do feel like that was partly because he hardly played in college, and that did kind of affect his play as he's just trying to get back into rhythm, and I do think he can be a good player. And so far, he has just been amazing. How else do I put it? Now, his stats obviously are going to look a lot better since we've only played like a couple of games this year. However, Darius Garland has been amazing, and the Cavaliers have started out 3-0 as of the recording of this video. Now, whether the Cavaliers hold up that well is definitely debatable, and his fit with Colin Sexton is pretty iffy. However, I do think he has future All-Star potential. He's a really good offensive guard who can score, shoot, and is also a really good playmaker. This year, I think he can average 17 points per game, 7 assists per game, 3 rebounds per game, shooting 47% from the field and 38% from 3. Darius Garland may have not had a great rookie season. However, if you ask me, I think this might be the year that he breaks out. I mean, the guy has been playing very well so far, and if he keeps up, well, who knows, he probably won't shoot like 50% from 3, but if he can play something like this for the rest of the year, then I do think the Cavaliers can be a much better team. And if the Cavaliers do decide to move on from Darius Garland or Colin Sexton, I do think that they might want to move on from Colin Sexton, given how good Darius Garland is. And Colin Sexton, he is a good player. However, I have a feeling that Darius Garland might have a higher ceiling than Colin. But with that out of the way, let's just get on to the next player, and that next player is Christian Wood. Now, Christian Wood, after the Andre Drummond trade on the Detroit Pistons, averaged 23 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, shooting 56% from the field and 40% from 3 on a good amount of attempts. I mean, the guy is just amazing offensively. How else do I put it? I mean, everything you want from a modern day offensive big, aside from playmaking, is just in Christian Wood. The guy is a good shooter from 3 and mid-range. He's fast enough to run the fast break, run pick and rolls, and all of that stuff. He's a really good finisher at the rim, and he can also do traditional stuff like post up and face up. Now, he's also a good rebounder too, and I mean, Christian Wood is just amazing. Now, I do not think he will average anything like 25 points per game since, I mean, he's playing with James Harden, and yeah, and the Rockets do have guys like James Harden and John Wall. However, I do think he can average 20 points per game. And in the game against Portland, in which they lost, he still played amazing. And if he can play like something like that, then I do think the Rockets could be a really good team. And I think he has all-star potential. And before you know it, he could be an all-star. This year, I think he can average 21 points per game, 3 assists per game, 10 rebounds per game, shooting 53% from the field and 38% from 3. And if you ask me, Christian Wood, I think it's time that this is the year that he breaks out. First off, the guy, I mean, I know he is on a winning team, but not only, he might get less touches. However, given how well he has played so far, I mean, if he can keep this up, then I do think he will be breaking out, and he could be an all-star soon enough. But moving on, the next player I have on this list is De'Aaron Fox. Now, De'Aaron Fox is one of the most underrated young players in the NBA. He's a really good slasher, and he is also a pretty good defender too. And he's been a whole reason why the Sacramento Kings, compared to Sacramento Kings standard at least, have been a lot better. Now, the Kings have not been a good team in the past few years, however, they sure have been better compared to Sacramento Kings standards. And the Kings right now have started out very well, and as of the recording of this video, they have only 1 loss compared to, I believe, 2-3 wins. Don't quote me on that. I'll find out once I'm editing this video. But anyways, the guy has been great so far and has been a huge part of the Kings' hot start. He shot very well from 3 on a lot of attempts per game. Now, as of that holds up, I mean, who knows what happens, but I do think De'Aaron Fox could be a pretty solid 3-point shooter. And if you ask me, I think he's poised to have a career year given how well he's playing. And if he can play like this, the Kings might make the playoffs and could contend for the 8th seed. I think he could average something like 24 to 25 points per game, 7 assists per game, 4 rebounds per game, shooting 45% from the field and 37% from 3. If you ask me, De'Aaron Fox is just a really good player, and I feel like we should put some more respect on his name. And I really do kind of hope the Kings are a good team, kind of a good team this year, since, I mean, that franchise has just been depressing for such a long time, and I mean, who doesn't like to see depressing franchises turn things around? Plus, I do feel like it will put some more respect on De'Aaron's name, and he could be in the consideration for being selected or being named an All-Star. Now, I do know that there's a ton of weird stuff with the All-Star game this year, but he is still a very good player. And with all that being said, that's all I have to say for De'Aaron Fox. And the next player I have on this list, which I'm pretty sure will be the man in the thumbnail unless I change something, but anyways, that player is DeAndre Ayton, as you guys can tell from the highlights or whatever footage I'm using. DeAndre Ayton is a solid all-around big who can rebound, defend, score, and is an okay shooter. He's shown some okay signs as a shooter. He's one of the most underrated young players in the NBA, like De'Aaron Fox. And when we talk about the Phoenix Suns, we talk about Devin Booker and all that, but DeAndre Ayton is a very good player. He's a really solid big man, as I said, and the fact that they got Chris Paul, who's just great at helping out big men in general, I mean, I think that will elevate his game to a whole nother level. Now, I'm not too sure about his stats as of right now, but I do think this year he can win Most Improved Player of the Year. In fact, he was my pick to win that award, and he can make a good case. If you ask me, I think he'd average 19 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, 1.8 blocks per game, and shoot something like 56 to maybe 55% from the field. Overall, though, I do think DeAndre Ayton is a really good player, and if you ask me, I think he's poised to have a career year. But the final player I have on this list is Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, as we all know, was just fantastic in the playoffs, averaging 26.5 points per game, 7 assists per game, shooting 50.5% from the field, and 45% from 3. Now, don't expect him to average those type of numbers the entire season, okay? That's just really hard to sustain. However, even if he does not play like that, and even if he doesn't play like he's prime Michael Jordan or prime LeBron James, I do think he could be an all-star level player. Now, he has had a slow start to the season, and so have the Denver Nuggets, unfortunately, as I am a Denver Nuggets fan, so I might be a little bit biased with this ranking, with him on this list too, but I do think legitimately he can break out. I don't think he will average 28 points per game on crazy good efficiency, but I do think he can be a really good 20 point per game scorer, along with being a good playmaker, shooting pretty well. If you ask me, I think he'd average something like 20 points per game, 6 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game, shooting 45% from the field and 38% from 3. But with all that being said, that's all I have to say for today's video. Those were the 5 players I do think will break out this NBA season. Obviously, I did miss some guys, so sorry about that. You guys can always drop, in the comment section below who you guys will think will break out this year. But with all of that being said, that's all I have to say for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to like the video, as it really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you guys are new and you guys are a fan of the NFL or the NBA. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean a lot to me if we could reach that goal. I will react to my first 2 videos once we hit 1K. So if you guys want to see that and enjoy the videos on this channel, and you guys are a fan of the NFL or the NBA, please make sure to subscribe. There are videos like this already on the channel, and there will be more in the future. But with all that being said, I'm out, you guys.